Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Miriam.
Miriam?
Hi, Miriam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
No, is it okay if I call you Miriam?
Yes.
Now, Miriam, I want to go over a few things with you. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Veronica Castro. I am a marriage and family therapist trainee. I'm under the supervision of Hillary Cantlin, she is a licensed family therapist, marriage and family therapist, I beg your pardon. And I want to go over a few things with you in regard to confidentiality. Although our sessions are confidential, there are some limitations. And because I am a mandated reporter, I'm obligated to report if there is any child abuse, elder abuse, or dependent abuse. In addition, if I suspect that you may harm yourself or others, I will also have to report that to the appropriate authorities, such as suicide or homicide. I have to protect those all involved. In addition, from time to time, Hillary will come, the supervisor will come in and supervise our sessions from, like I said, from time to time. Now, do you have any questions in regard to the limitations of confidentiality?
No.
Okay, let's begin. Okay, now what brings you in to see me today?
It's going to be really tough for me to talk about that because it just touches me so hard. I have one brother who's younger than me, and 13 years ago, he was just very fine. He had his CPA, very smart on that. And then our dad died 13 years ago, and then right after my dad died, he started slipping into depression, and to the point that now he's on a lot of medications, and he's very mentally sick. And it's just been so hard for me and for my mom to just see him that way, because I can always see him as a healthy young man, and now when I see him, he's been diagnosed with a lot of things like acute anxiety, severe depression, borderline personality, what else? Bipolar. So it's a lot of things all at once that's happening. And all through the 13 years, I've been in a struggle. I can't accept this. He was my best friend. We used to talk, we used to laugh, we used to do things together and all that. And now that he's sick, he's a totally different person. He's not talking, not smiling, no kind of feelings, he doesn't interact with my kids. He's always alone, isolated. And it puts a lot of pressure on me at this time of my life, because I want to help him, and I don't know how to help him, and I'm busy in my life as well. And I just have this feeling of a lot of anger. Sometimes I get angry at him very much. I want you to be normal. I want you, to talk to me like you used to. I want you to text me, call me, interact with me, which he doesn't do anymore. And sometimes I get this feeling of, I have to be understanding. It's out of his control. But then, because I know him before, I feel like, you can do this, and, you can fight over your sickness and all that. But it seems like he's at a point of his sickness where it's just, got all over him, and he's very absorbed into it. And there's no progress, there's no hope. We've been to a lot of doctors. He's been on a lot of medication and doing therapy and all that. And it seems like he's been in the bubble of depression for the past 13 years and continuing, which is really breaking us as a family, because, we want to go out to the beach and have fun, and just by him being there, we're all looking, we want you to have fun. We want you to talk to my kids. We want you to interact with my kids, and he's not there. And on top of that, his behavior has a lot of negative symptoms. He can get angry easily. We would be having fun, and he would just shout all of a sudden that it brings us fear and anxiety. Why are you doing this? So it's just been very hard on me.
So what I'm hearing you say is that after your father's passing, there's been a lot of stress as a result, and a lot of things have come about because of your father's passing, such as your brother, difficulties.
Mhm.
And it also sounds like that you are anxious and frustrated because your brother is ill.
I'm very.
And it seems that you value your family and then their well-being. And I wonder if uh, how this affects your other aspects in life besides just your relationship with your brother.
It does affect a lot because, I always carry those guilt feeling inside of me that I'm able to enjoy life to the fullest, I'm able to do this. And then I always feeling like, but he can't, and, we've grew up very close to each other. So, when I see him, like, it's like I want him to be happy, I want him to function well, but it's not happening. So it's just, I don't know, it's just throwing a lot of things on my life, and my mom too adds to it because she always makes me feel responsible for his well-being. Like she feels like because he's so isolated, like talk to him, take him out with your friends, bring him with you, take him to parties. Maybe if he sees people, he's gonna feel better. But then I did that at one time in life, but I've seen no progress except that it's all on me. I get angry with him, I yell at him, I shout at him, because, he embarrasses me in front of the people I am with, and, I'm like, I want to enjoy my husband, and I want to enjoy my kids, and I want to enjoy being around my friends, and it seems that when he's always there, I'm like, I'm like worried about what he's going to do, or, what he's going to say. So I decided that I'm never going to do this again, if I see him, I see me and him on his own.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna, be with my husband and have my own life. But then when I'm doing my own life, it's always like those thoughts inside of me, like I'm not a good sister, I should be helping more, especially my mom's old and, she can't support him, I know better, I read a lot and studying about this. So maybe I should be offering more help, but then I'm not. But it's also due to my limitations of time, and all of that, so.
I see that it's difficult for you. I see how emotional it is for you. I also feel that, well, what you did mention, that there's guilt, and you feel that because you don't have a lot of time, you're being spread thin, and you want to give more time, but you don't feel like you're appreciated when you do give it.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, it's been very hard on me lately. I just don't know how to handle things inside my head, like, like every time I see him, like, I'm like, come on, be your old self, let's talk, let's have fun, let's go out and all that. And it's just his mental health sickness has been, breaking me and breaking my family, and it's been a burden on me and on my mom, and my mom too, she's very like,
may I have your attention, please? Will Lauren please come to the Children's Information Desk? Will Lauren please come to the
so
Children's
she's like
Information
old
Desk?
school, she doesn't know how to handle things, like, and
May I ask you, when you say she doesn't know how to handle things, what does that mean?
like she would like, she thinks like it's something that's gonna go away, and I'm trying to tell her, no, it's not gonna go away because it's been 13 years now, he's been like that, and she thinks like, no, maybe he just needs to go out, maybe if he's in a relationship with someone. I'm like, Mom, how is he gonna function in a relationship with someone if he's not, normal around us, who would want to go out with him, And so she thinks like I should be the one connecting him to the outside world. Like I should be putting some effort in like taking him out, making him talk more, because he doesn't talk at all, and he doesn't, he's always depressed and isolated. And
So your mother puts pressure on you to fix things.
yes, a lot of pressure.
and you try and you rationalize it, and you try to help her see that, but she doesn't, and it's frustrating to you because she doesn't see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Um, yeah, it's just been those, it's like one of my main things in life that's always like the black, gray shaded area. Like, I'm like, I'm not complete and I'm not full because I want him to be good and I don't see him. So it's breaking in my heart.
I see it, it's emotional.
Yes.
My gut feeling is that you wish that things were normal and you want to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a constant reminder because your mother's constantly reminding you about the situation.
That's right.
Now, Matt, now I'm going to ask you about your support system. You brought up your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be fair to say that your husband is your support system? I should ask. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your support system? It sounds like it'd be your husband. No. Who do you go for support in when you're feeling the way you do, in regards to your brother, your mom, the pressures that your mother puts on you?
I think it's my husband mainly, but sometimes I don't feel like, because it says not his brother, so he's not seeing what I'm seeing. He sees me as a typical woman. I'm too emotional and I'm making things too big. So sometimes he's able to support me, and sometimes he's like, I don't feel like he's supporting me because he's like, Marian, you're putting too much on yourself, and what can you do about it? You should. But I think it's a man's thing. I think like because he's a man, he doesn't just get this, the feelings that I have for him, And in my culture, we grew up very close. We grew up. My dad and my mom wanted us always to love one another.
Your husband, I mean, your siblings and your parents grew up really close.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And in my house, there was just a lot of love. Like, I remember, like, if my mom would punish my brother, I would cry. So you can imagine how I'm close, how I love him and I care about him, And I just see that I'm horrible and I'm not good because, I should be doing more for him and I'm not doing more for him. And I'm in the struggle because I feel like, I want to be there for him, and then I don't have time because I have my own life and I have all that. And then it seems like when to get disconnected, I'm always carrying him in my head. Like, I'm always thinking about him and, and how he's doing and all that. And it's just been a constant problem, and it's there all the time.
It seems like you value family very much. And I also hear that you want to make things work, but you're struggling to find ways to get there. And no matter what you're doing, if you feel like it's not good enough, or you want to do more, but because of time constraints, it's not allowing you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also hearing that you miss what it used to be. That you're grabbing on to what was used to be, and I think that's what you miss the most. That it's no longer, and you're afraid possibly that it's no longer going to be that. And I think you have a fear in that.
Yes. I do. It's just so hard for me to speak about this subject because it's always been, trying to hide it, and I don't like to talk about it, Also, I don't know how to come about, like, in my culture, we usually don't talk about mental health issues, like it's not like a comfortable zone. And with like the friends and family around us, like everybody looks to him like they want to ask and say, there's something wrong with your brother. And then I'm always like, no, he's just not feeling good and all that. So in my head, I'm always feeling like I have to protect, cover over him, protect him. I don't want anybody to see him not normal or, because we have history with these people around us and they've seen him, a CPA and, successful, and now his life all went down all of a sudden. And we decided, me and my mom, that we're not going to bring it out to public, or we're not going to talk about it to people.
Yes.
Because we have this hope that maybe one day it's going to be normal again. And we don't want people to think like he's, oh no, this person had something wrong with his life. So although that people see it in him, it's like frustrating for me because I don't want them to see that. So I'm covering it,
Yes.
So I'm trying to cover it, and I'm trying to make it look like, no, he's just okay. He's just been depressed ever since my dad died, that's all. But the reality is there's a lot going on. That's, a lot of symptoms that we're seeing, a lot of,
Okay.
negative, consequences in his life that we have to like always run around and try to cover, make things look good, like he's been taking a lot of tickets, like when he's driving, because it's just like, sometimes his mind is wandering, so he wouldn't stop, and my mom yells and cries because, how are we going to pay all those, tickets that you keep getting on us? So, I mean, there's a lot more that we're engaged in that I'm almost trying to, I don't want anybody to know about it. I want people to see him like he's normal, although everybody's wondering and questioning like there's something wrong. And it's just so painful on me and so stressful on me to admit or to tell somebody that my brother is, sick, or, he has some mental health issues.
I hear you when you say, I want to protect my brother, and I want to not hide his issue. I'm going to bring up a gut instinct. If I'm wrong, I want you to tell me that I was off. But do you feel ashamed of his illness?
I do, yes. And you just hit the point, like, sometimes I feel very ashamed of it. That's why I'm covering for it. And at the same time, in my mind, like, you're so evil, you shouldn't be thinking like that, because it's just a sickness and he has nothing to do with that. But I feel like, no, we have this good family image and we have all this good family image and all that, and we should be always looking good. We shouldn't be like, and if we have a problem, we hide it, we cover it. I don't want anybody to know about it, anything.
What do you think will happen if they found out the truth?
I don't know, it just brings me fears that, that they would like, oh, her brother's sick, or oh, something's wrong with his family.
You're afraid of the judgment, what they would say. You want to protect
Yes.
what they know, what they don't know.
Yes.
Miriam, it sounds like you seem to really value family, and that you have major stress because you want to protect that bond that you have, and you want that memory to come back to you. Those memories that make it part to come back to you and to what they once were. And I wonder if you, what I'm trying to say is I wonder if you were to be more open to talk to your mother about being real with your family, maybe it wouldn't be so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I probably have to try to do that and take matters further and start to open out about it.
What I heard you say is that, because of your father's death, all these, occurrences happened as a result, and just the big one was that your father, your brother, illness and how it just really shifted the family, structure, and how it put a lot of strain on you and your mother's relationship with one another, and how you want to, keep that together. Well, our time is almost up. Okay. And I'm going to start with this again next time you come to the same place. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I am available Monday through Friday. Okay. And you can actually make an appointment on the front. We can meet again. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. It was a pleasure to meet you. And then
Thank you.
I'll be talking again next week.
Thank you.
Miriam.
Thank you.
Have a good day.